Hey guys, what's up? It's ironZinc or Felix here, and welcome to another episode of Redstone and Command Blocks, Programming in Minecraft. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Redstone. Only the basics though. And we're also going to be talking about two very easy commands.
Commands today are extremely easy. The two commands that we're going to learn, they are extremely easy. So we're going to go over them first before actually moving on to the juicy redstone stuff. Okay, so the first command we're going to go over is time. Basically what it does is it messes with the time. So there are three values that you can add after the time, after the keyword. So if we actually do this to get the error message out, it can do time set, time add, and time query. So we'll be going over time add and time set. So basically here I've got a clock that constantly sets the time to day. Now let me just quickly turn that on. Daytime is 1000 by default. So you can see as soon as the sun tries to move up a bit, it gets dragged back. See that? As soon as the sun tries to move a bit, it gets dragged back. Yep, there we go. Yep, you can indeed see it. Okay, so basically that I have a clock running, so it's constantly daytime. Now let's turn that off. Do you need redstone? So that's off. Now the sun's free to move. So time set. Basically, time set, we get to set values, okay? Of course, we can do day and night, but then there are different values that represent different times. So time set 1000, it's exactly, well, daytime. Now, time set 18000, this is midnight, I believe. Yep, it is. So basically, yeah, there are a lot of values for time. And in the last video, you might have seen me use this command, time set day, because that time I didn't have this clock yet. I added that after I finished recording that video. Anyways, so we set time this way by adding a value or just the keywords day and night. I believe there's only two keywords, but I can't be sure. Anyways, now let's go into time add. So, time add, basically what it does is that it adds time, it adds a value to the current time value. So for example, if the current time value is 1000 and we add another 1000, then the current time value is going to be 2000. So now I think it's already past 2000. Wait, I'm not sure though. So let's just quickly set that to 1000. Oh, there we go. And now let's actually add, for example, how about 2000 to the time? You can see the sun immediately goes over there. Add 2000 again, it goes over here. Add another 2000, it goes here. And then, we can just keep adding time. And eventually it'll be night. Now it's already kind of near sunset. We do that again. Now it's already somewhat night. And now we look at the moon. And we can see the moon moving across the sky by just doing this. And now sunrise again. Interesting. Okay, let's quickly turn that on. All this while, you might be wondering what this command block is for. In there is another command, weather. So, really good way to learn commands is by typing the keywords first, / keyword, and then just tap enter. And then we can see here the usage of this command. So there are three weather settings: clear, rain, and thunder. And then you can also set a duration. So let's actually just turn this off for now. And then basically, how about we toggle with the weather? Of course, if we toggle it to rain for a period of 10 seconds, it won't actually rain. And the reason for that is we press F3, biome, I meant the void biome. So it will never rain, basically. The sky will, the color of the sky will change, of course. So weather, rain for duration of 10 seconds. Now just quickly, the sky got dark a bit. And then the sun all sort of disappeared. But it won't actually rain the way it is in a desert. Now that the time is up, the sun comes back again. We can also not add the time, and you can also like just change it to rain this way. Now let's actually change that to something better. Thunder. The sky basically deepens even more. And then there will be lightning. There will be lightning and rain if I'm not in the void biome. But apparently I am, so yeah, we won't actually get to see the rain, but we can see the sky darken. So let's quickly change that. This one back. There we go. Boop. So basically that's the two commands. And now let's turn on this clock so nighttime and bad weather won't bother us. And let's actually move on to Redstone. These are the very, very basics of Redstone that's probably kind of necessary for command blocks, but tons of more like more complicated and I guess more intricate circuits. A lot of them I don't even understand. So for now, we'll just stick with the basics. I might do another Redstone video in the future covering things slightly more advanced, but I'm not sure about that one yet. Okay. So basically, a redstone signal can travel 15 blocks. And it's not like circuitry where the circuit has to be closed before the signal actually can travel. You can just see it as an energy source and a signal. And this signal can travel without being closed. So a signal travels 15 blocks and then it dies away. This is the 15th block. So if we add another block here, wait. Did I miscalculate? I might have. Okay, there we go. There we go. So signal travels 15 blocks, and the 16th will have no power. Right, so the signal strength is how many blocks, like how strong the signal is. So if we press F3, power. It indicates the power, like right here. Right where my mouse is. Well, I should say my cursor. I don't know if my face cam is sort of getting in the way, but no, it's not. You can still see it right here. 14. Just look at the little space below my microphone. There we go. 14. So that's basically the power. And if we keep moving, keep track of the power. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So the signal strength, you can view that by pressing F3. Yeah. Okay. That's probably the most basic redstone ever. Anyways, let's actually move on to clocks. So if you don't know what clocks are, they're like repeating command blocks, but in a lot of these clocks, you can actually toggle their speed. You can like change how fast they repeat. The repeating command block is really fast. We can have slower clocks. Or I believe, actually no. We can have slower clocks. I'm not sure, but I think we can also have faster ones. I'm not sure though. Anyways, so I'm going to begin by showcasing my, sort of, I guess, the simplest type of clock ever. It's basically just a comparator and for redstone and a source of power. So basically, actually let me get the comparator in. So basically this comparator, it has two modes. It has compare mode and subtract mode. Because this is not a redstone course, I will not go into like the usage of a comparator and what these modes are for and primary and secondary signals and whatever. So for now, just make sure the redstone, the like little redstone torch in the front here, it's sticking out. Just right click and it'll stick out or like just go in. So make sure it's sticking out. By default, it's sort of in. So right click. Okay. Now, if we actually give it power, you can see what happens. The signal starts flashing and just flashing. Now that's kind of cool. And redstone clocks aren't always applied to command blocks. Sometimes they can be applied to, say, dispensers. That's proper. Wait a sec. Oh, there we go. I was looking near the dropper. Okay. They can be applied to dispensers. So, actually, let me disable. So if I get some arrows, normal arrows. Oops. Anyways, if I place these arrows in here and do this, then turn on this clock first, connect it up, turn on this clock, and it starts rapidly shooting arrows. And I could deflect some of those arrows, get them, or whatever. And a lot of times it's not used with command blocks, true, but sometimes very, very useful. And the reason why is the repeating command block is just simply too fast. That's why we would need some of these slower clocks. Anyways, let's move on to more clock designs. This kind of clock. I don't like this kind of clock because you can't turn it off. So the way to turn on, the way to like turn it on is not this. Okay? So the way to turn it on is we have to flick this lever on and off really quickly. That was a bit too slow. There we go. Really, really quickly, and now it will start off. But as soon as you try to like stop it, it will never start again. So I don't like this type of clock, but still a lot of people favor this type of clock, so I figured I'd mention it. This type of clock, you might have seen it along with that type in the intro vid. So it's very simple. You can control the speed very well, but then again, you can't turn it off. And I was a bit too slow back there. Okay. There we go. Oops. So, yeah, you can turn these kind of clocks off, and even though they're very simple, I only use these for things that I don't want to turn off. I don't want to toggle speed. I don't pretty much want to do anything. Anyways, this type of clock is very flexible. You can turn it on and off, and you can also control the speed. So basically, it's an odd number of redstone torches. If you don't know, if we apply a signal to a block with a redstone torch on it, the redstone torch will turn off. Note that this won't work if you just apply this signal to a redstone torch alone. You have to apply it to the block the redstone torch is on. So if I actually do this, you can see that it actually turns off when the lever is on and this redstone is on. Yeah, so oops. Let me do that. Okay. So you just have to have an odd number of redstone torches, and as soon as you unpower this lever, the clock starts running. The more redstone torches you have, the more actually, my mistake. You actually can control the speed of this one. I don't know what I was thinking there. Apparently, I don't think you can control the speed of this one. Anyways, just flick that on, and you can basically turn this clock off. It's pretty simple. It's pretty good. But then again, sometimes I found this one, I don't know, it's more complicated than this, and it's not as good as this. So this clock, unlike the other clock, you can't see what I'm doing exactly. So I'll show you like the beauty of this clock first, and then I'll teach you how to build it. So basically, if we flick on the lever, flick off the lever, it will periodically turn on and off. And you can control the speed of this one as well. So you can make it faster, you can make it super slow, etc. Okay, now let me actually teach you how to build this. So let me destroy this one. Boop, 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 and boop. There we go. So if you don't know hoppers, they transfer items along the line. So basically, if I put an item in this hopper, it will instantly disappear, and it will actually get transferred to this hopper through this line. And if you power it with redstone, let's quickly take that. Yeah. So if you power a hopper with redstone, it will transfer into this hopper, which is actually powered, and the redstone will stay in it. Nothing will happen. So this is why you can turn this clock on and off. But let's actually get to actually building this. So we place down one hopper like this. Press shift to place down another hopper leading into this hopper. So it looks like this. So whatever is in this hopper will instantly get transferred to this hopper. Now we destroy this hopper and shift, right click, here. So basically the items can get transferred between these. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can see how it just appears and disappears and appears and disappears. So it's actually getting transferred between these. Okay, there we go. Now if you don't know what to compare, well, one of the functions, one of the actually three functions of a comparator is it tests if something that has inventory space has things like in them. So if I have a hopper here, and now, so now if I place down one piece of redstone in here, the comparator will give a very weak signal. The signal strength or power is 1. Okay. So basically, the comparator sort of does that, sort of tests, I guess, if something that has inventory space has things in it. And if you don't know what inventory space are, it's just things that it has the capacity of having things placed in it. So there can be chests have inventory space, dispensers have inventory space, etc. I actually don't need that. There we go. Okay. So more about this function, maybe if I make another video on redstone, maybe I'll talk about that, maybe. Anyways, now that we know that, let's actually get the comparator up. So now, just sort of follow my design here. Basically what this comparator will do is, as soon as there's something in it, in this case it's like a block of redstone, the item can also be like not stackable, or it can be in stacks of 16. Everything will work, because if there's more things, then the comparator will just output stronger signals, which we can have stronger signals. You'll see why in a sec. Anyways, now we place 2 pieces of redstone here. So basically, if there is anything in here, this comparator will power up, leading to this block of stone or any block. You can pretty much use any block here. It'll go into this block. So this block will be powered. And now this piece of redstone will light up because this block is powered. And if there's anything in here, this block will be powered, and this redstone will be lit up. So get a piston, go. Now we place 2 pistons like this. So here's actually the cool stuff, okay? If this block, piece of redstone is powered, then this piston is gonna extend. If that one is powered, then this piston is gonna extend. But the real trick is they're gonna have a block of redstone between them, so that if both of these are powered, and if both of these pistons are powered, and this one, for example, is powered first, then this one cannot be powered. You'll see what I mean. I'll give a demonstration here. Ooh. So as you can see, if I power this one, and then power this one will not extend because it can't, right? But as soon as I destroy that one, the second one will be able to extend. Okay. Now let's move on. Actually, here, this block of redstone stands against this hopper, which means when this hopper is transferring its things into this hopper, if this hopper is transferring its things into this hopper will not transfer its things back because it's got a redstone signal. So yeah, here. Now if we just put 2 in here, the clock is going to be really fast. Really fast. So as soon as one hopper runs out, the clock will switch. I hope you get why, because the pieces of redstone here lights up alternatively, and then the redstone just keeps getting pushed around. Okay, so Now, how do we actually make it longer? There we go. There we go. So, by actually putting more blocks. Well, it doesn't have to be blocks. Putting more items. So if I put 16, the clock's delay will sort of be longer. This is how you make like really, really slow clocks. That would otherwise only be possible with a whole lot of repeaters. So you could also put a like crap ton of stuff in there, but I'm just not the kind of person who actually does that. So have I got everything? I think I've got everything. There we go. Now the way to power this clock on and off, let's just stick with 2 in here, is by putting a lever against, well, not against, but to the side of one of these pistons. Sorry, hoppers. Okay, now if we press right click on this lever, you can see that it actually powers this one and this one, so that like none of them will start transferring their items, and this clock will be stopped. Rather cool, rather cool. And the final output will be led here from this piece of redstone. Okay, now that's pretty much everything about clocks, the very basic designs. There are more complicated ones that I'm not going to go over, but those are the basics. Anyways, now let's move on to logic gates. There are a lot of logic gates. There are actually a lot. And there's gates like XOR and like AND, but those, again, we seldom use those. So the ones that you're probably going to use most often are going to be the OR and NOT gates. Those, their designs are very, very complicated. In the intro vid, I like the picture I put up there. That's the design, I believe, of the XOR gate. It's really complicated. You ain't going to use it, so let's just stick with the basics. Again, if I decide to do another video on Redstone, I might cover those like logic gates as well. But for now, we'll just go for these 3. So basically, an OR gate says, so all of these gates have 2 inputs. The basic version, anyways. They have 2 inputs, and the OR gate says, if one input is up, sure. If 2 inputs are both on, of course. So it can be either one of these inputs. So the final output is there. If this one is on, the final output is also on. If this one is on, the final output is also on. And if both are off, the final output is off. But if one of them, even one of them is on, the final output is going to be on. So like, this is the OR gate. And it's very simple. It just leaves the redstone together. So yeah. Now, before we go on to the AND gate, let's first go over the NOT gate. We've already sort of made this. Like I talked about before, if we actually lead a signal in to a block with a redstone torch on it, then the redstone torch will turn off. So it's like an inverse. So if this one's on, this one's off. If this one's off, this one's on. Simple. Okay, now let's move on to the AND gate. Basically, what this AND gate does. By the way, this is my design of the AND gate. There are many other designs. I just prefer to put it this way, and I'll show you how to build this one a bit later. Okay, so basically, the AND gate says if one input is on, not okay. If both inputs are off, not okay. If both inputs are on, then the final output is going to be on. So both of these has to be on in order for the final output to be on. If even one of these are off, the final output will be off. And basically how to make this is, let's start with 2 levers with redstone. And now, so basically we put 2 blocks here with 2 redstone torches on top. And then we lead the redstone on top of a 3rd block that powers this one off. So this is the initial state. And then if we turn both of these on, the final output will be on. So the reason this works is basically, in the case of both of these being off, we all know why, like, both of these torches are on and this block is powered, so no output. But if one of these are on, then this redstone torch is going to turn off. But this redstone torch is still on. which means it will still be powering this block. So this torch will still be off. In the case of both of these levers being on, both of these torches will turn off. With both of these torches off, then like this 3 pieces of redstone will be off. This block will be unpowered, and this torch will turn on. Simple. Well, I guess it's not that simple, but it's still kind of okay. It's not too hard. Again, this is the version where the 2 levers has to be both on. There is another version where the 2 levers has to be both off in order for this signal to be off. So actually, 2 levers both have to be off in order for the final signal to be on. Yeah, so basically what we're doing here is if one of these levers are on, then this block is going to be powered, and it would be simpler if we actually just did this. Haven't done one of these in a long time. This block is powered if even one of these levers are on, meaning that this redstone torch will be on. If both are off, torch will go on. So yeah, basically that's pretty much everything. And today we talked about clocks, all sorts of different designs, the 3 basic logic gates, and 2 simple commands, time and
for this episode. And in the next episode, we're going to be taking a look at 3 game-changing commands. So guys, goodbye.